Hare Krishna. Today we are going to study the verse number 27 of the 4th chapter of Bhagwat Gita as it is. In today's verse, we will learn about the 10 kinds of life air in the body, which helps the senses to do all kinds of activities. First, let us recite the verse number 27 of chapter number 4. Sarvani Indriya Karmani Prana Karmani Chapare Atma Sanyam Yogagnau Juhvati Gyan Deepite Sarvani Indriya Karmani Prana Karmani Chapare Atma Sanyam Yogagnau Juhvati Gyan Deepite. Sarvani, all. Indriya, senses. Karmani, functions. Prana Karmani, functions of the life breath. Cha, also. Apare, others. Atma Sanyam, controlling the mind. Yog, linking process. Agnav, in the fire of. Juhvati, offers. Gyan Deepite, because of the urge of the knowledge of self-realization. Krishna says that those who are interested in self-realization in terms of mind and senses control offer the functions of all the senses. Gyan Deepite. What do? Gyan Deepite, the people, those who have the urge of self-realization, they do Atma Sanyam. How do they do Atma Sanyam? How do they control the mind? By the linking process. Yogagnav Juhvati. They engage all their senses in the service of Krishna. This is the symptom of a Krishna conscious person who is knowledgeable that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and he is the eternal servant of Krishna. He is a part of Krishna and that he should engage all his senses to please Krishna. Now let us read Srila Prabhupada's purport and understand this very important shlok in a very nice manner. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Srila Prabhupada says that the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali states that soul is called Pratyag Atma and Parag Atma. Pratyag Atma and Parag Atma. Srila Prabhupada explains that when the soul is attached to sense enjoyment in this temporary material world, then it is called Parag Atma. And when the soul withdraws itself from the activities of sense enjoyment, then it is called Pratyag Atma. In simple words, we can understand that attachment with the material world is Paragatma and detachment from the material enjoyment is called Pratyag Atma. Srila Prabhupada says that according to the yoga system, Pratyag Atma is the ultimate goal of life. Prabhupada says that the soul is subjected to 10 kinds of air within the body. The soul is caged inside the material body, and in the material body there are 10 kinds of life air which enables the senses to interact with the sense objects like eyes for seeing, nose for smelling, tongue for tasting, hand for touching. The sense organs and the objects of the sense organs are outside the soul. The soul is inside the body and the senses such as eyes, ears, nose, tongue and hands is on the body, and all the sense objects are also outside the body. Hence, there is no connection of the senses and the sense objects with the soul. and neither the soul gets affected by any action carried out by the senses. But when the person does not have the knowledge that he is a spirit soul and not the body, then he engages his senses in different kinds of sense enjoyments in the material world. And this is when the soul is called Parag Atma. And we know that Pratyag Atma is the ultimate goal of human life. Pratyag Atma means when the soul is detached with the sense of enjoyment of this material world. Now let's try to understand the 10 life airs which is in the body and how does it help the senses to enjoy the material objects. According to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the Pran Vayu helps in inhaling the breath. The Apan Vayu is inhaling breath and it goes downwards in the body, which helps in the bowel movement. Then the Vyan Vayu acts to shrink and expand. Sman Vayu maintains the equilibrium as it helps to digest the food. Then Udan Vayu goes upwards. Nag Vayu is for belching, which means burping. Kurma Vayu for opening the eyes. Krakra Vayu for coughing. Devdat Vayu for yawning. And Dhananjay Vayu remains in the body even after death. The Patanjali Sutra states that all the functions of our senses, such as seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling, is controlled by these 10 kinds of life air. And Patanjali Yoga system teaches us how to control the senses by controlling or stopping these 10 types of life air and be in trance. That is, to rise above the bodily consciousness, to experience the true self, that is the spirit soul, and then engage the senses in the process of self-realization. Srila Prabhupada says that this process is very difficult for any person because till the person is doing the yoga asana, his senses are controlled. But the moment the yoga asana is stopped, then the senses get engaged in the material things for enjoyment. Prabhupada says that it is very difficult to control the senses by any artificial process. We have the example of great yogis and rishis like Rishi Vishwamitra and Saubhari Muni. Rishi Vishwamitra, after practicing the yogic activities for thousands of years in isolation, fell down from his trance the moment he heard the sound of the ankle bells of Menaka, and as a result, Urvashi was born. Srila Prabhupada says that controlling the senses is very difficult and impossible. Arjun said in verse number 34 of chapter number 6 of Bhagwat Gita, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balvadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayuriv sudushkaram. Arjun says, O Krishna, the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, and it's very difficult to subdue it. It seems to me more difficult than controlling wind. Arjun, who is Parantap, who is Gunakesh, he says that the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. And it's very difficult to control and subdue the mind. And wind is easier to be controlled than the mind. Now we must understand that when such a great personality like Arjun, who is the conqueror of ignorance and sleep. He is Gunakesh. He is saying that, "Oh Krishna, this mind is very difficult to control. I can control the wind, but I am unable to control the mind." Srila Prabhupada says that mind is the seat of all the senses, and the natural propensity of the senses is to see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. And it is not possible to control these senses for a very long period of time by any artificial process. And the best way to control these uncontrollable senses is by engaging all the senses in the service of Krishna. Eyes need to see something. Then we must look at the beautiful deity of Radha Krishna. We must see the beautiful dress, beautiful jewelry, beautiful flower garland, and we must see every detail with great love and admiration. Then, to quench the ears, we should listen to the beautiful pastimes of Krishna, Ram, then the Katha and Kirtan. And when we speak, then we must speak about Bhagwat Gita, Bhagwatam, Ramayan, and glorify Krishna and all the avatars like Lord Ram, Lord Narsimha, Parashuramji, Lord Buddha, Lord Vaman, and many other incarnations of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says that amongst all the senses, the tongue is the most powerful. And if we make a promise that we will not taste anything which is not offered to Krishna, and will not speak anything which does not glorify Krishna, then all the other senses will automatically be controlled. And this is the process for becoming Krishna conscious. In today's verse, it is said that a person who is knowledgeable that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and he is the eternal servant of Krishna, then he immediately wants to serve Krishna with all his senses, and when the senses are engaged to satisfy the senses of Krishna, who is Rishikesh, which means the master of all the senses, then the person automatically becomes satisfied as he is a part of Krishna. Today's verse is very important, where we have come to know about the 10 life airs which are in our body. And through the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, these life airs can be controlled and stopped to achieve the higher purpose of life. But this process is very difficult, and even after attaining perfection, a person may fall down, and in contrary to it, the Krishna conscious practice is very simple by just engaging all the senses in the service of Krishna. And by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can attain the highest perfection of life, that is, self realization and God realization. Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness is accepted and practiced by only those persons who are knowledgeable that they are not their body but spirit soul, a part of Krishna, and Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and I must serve only Krishna with all my senses and abilities. So we come to the conclusion that though Patanjali Yoga Sutra is a way to control the senses, but easier and guaranteed way is by practicing Krishna conscious activities, where the senses are not starved artificially, rather the senses become satisfied and calm only by serving Krishna. I thank each one of you for listening to the Bhagavad Gita shlokas very attentively. Please do write your comments, and in case you have any questions, do write in the comment box. I shall definitely try to answer by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Hari Mohan Prabhuji, by whose causeless mercy we are able to understand the most secretive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in such simple and easy manner. I am sure today we have understood properly the meaning of Patanjali Sutra and the meaning of Krishna conscious activities. And we will definitely choose the Krishna conscious activities to control our senses and engage our every sense to serve Krishna. And then we will be automatically satisfied, contented, and happy, and will have the higher realization, that is God realization and self realization. Now we shall meet the next week with a new verse. Till then, keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and keep reading Bhagavad Gita. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.